Welcome to the Kinda Krunchy podcast, where we talk about all things health and wellness. We can't wait for you to hear today's episode, so let's get to it. All right, guys, welcome back to Kinda Krunchy. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are super excited because today we have a very special guest episode. We are joined with Stephanie and Hayley from the Painterland Sisters. They are an organic skyr yogurt company. They are two sisters who are really just trailblazing in the dairy and yogurt industry. Their skyr yogurt is in stores across 49 states. They're family owned and run. They use regenerative practices. They produce an organic product free of fillers and full of good things. Jensen and I have both had their yogurt, love it. It's amazing, delicious. They're two women in agriculture, in business. They're Pennsylvania natives. They're wives, mothers, and today they are guests here on the Kinda Krunchy podcast, and we could not be more excited. So Hayley and Stephanie, thank you. Welcome. We'd love for you both to tell us a little bit more about yourselves and just give us a little background on who you are, some fun info, and intro yourselves to the podcast.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
So we're, of course, Painterland Sisters. We're two sisters. Sometimes we do that little slight awkward pause because, like, who's going first? We always dreamt of doing something with our family farm since we were little girls, and we always dreamt of doing it together. So here we are. We are 29, 27, and we're in a year and a half of launching into retail Painterland Sisters. Like you mentioned, our organic skyr yogurt line, it really stems from a passion and a love for sustainable agriculture, for family farms, and for the need that we've seen of people wanting to be connected to the source of their food, which is the American farmer, and having just that transparency in a fun, loving, millennial type of way that they can actually relate to. So, Hayley, do you want to touch base a little bit more?
So, when I first heard of the word crunchy, I was in college. We're way out of tune because we're dairy farmers way up north. So we're always what's trending, we find out 5 years later. I heard about it in college, and I asked my then boyfriend, now fiance, I'm like, what is this? And he explained it. He's like, it's kind of like the health nuts who like to go hiking or trying to get back. It's like the modern day hippie, but leisure. And I'm like, that is totally what we're trying to do. And this is before we had the yogurt. And so, that we're just trying to get back to real nutrients, real food, real storytelling
from real people,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That's awesome.
Love that. Thank you guys for introing that. I guess kind of just from the beginning, tell us your story as, women in ag, how you got interested, what made you decide it was for you, and what made it go to a career, not just a hobby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it stems with a passion, I believe. Our passion was how do we come back to our family's farm? And then it turned into a question of how do we not just come back? How do we sustain the dairy aspect of the farm? Because we're a fourth generation organic dairy and crop farm. And so in order for the dairy to continue, we wanted to find our own niche to sustain our market. Dairy markets across the country are unstable, right? So conventional dairy farmers have been getting paid the same price since 1980. And so the market is just crazy for these farmers who work so hard. And we wanted to create a value-added product that we could take our destinies into our own hands. And so we thought of every different dairy product we could possibly make. But then we had to make it large enough to really use all that milk and our neighbor's milk and then eventually more milk. And so we had to set those parameters. So we took this passion of what we want to do with our future and kind of had to turn it into something that we could create sustainability into.
Yeah. And I just add to that, when we both went off to college, Hayley went to Iowa State. She started with me at Susquehanna University, a private school here in Pennsylvania. And I went to school for business. She went to school for animal science. We're both business minded. We grew up watching our grandparents do business at the kitchen table, at the farmhouse, our dad and mom doing business. And so it was like always intrinsically, like when the passion was always intrinsically there, but like when you grow up just watching everything, like we're like sponges. I have 3 kids now, and just watching them watch me, you try to walk the line a little bit better. They make you a better person. And when we were kids, we were absorbing all of that, not just the passion for the farm and the passion for the land and the passion for the animals, but the passion for business and appreciation for people in business with you, partners, just everything. Hayley and I were talking about this the other night. So like, we went to school, but we really learned business from sitting at the kitchen table with our grandparents and dad. And so it's really interesting now that when we went to college, we realized people are totally disconnected from the source of their food. And we've traveled to 20-something countries, almost all 50 states, and the same thing kept popping up. Like, we were always talking about the importance of agriculture and making it, educating people in a consumable way, no pun intended, where it just doesn't, like, we just give them so much information and we just come at it from a total dairy farmer's perspective that, there's not very many dairy farmers. So people just couldn't relate to, right? So we're trying to like create this feminine, fun, loving, make dairy cool again brand. And we're going to start with this farm store, like right on the farm. Let's sell some milk, dairy products. And it ended up, now we're in 49 of the 50 states and 2,000 stores nationwide. We just launched March of 2022. And our first 12 full calendar, like our first official year in business, we have $4 million in sales. And so it's really cool to see our mission of not only sustaining all these things, but just like making dairy cool again and agriculture relatable. It's happening. Like, you can see it in the numbers. So, and we're not really numbers people. So it's cool to just see it right there, black and white. Yeah.
Yeah, that is awesome. I love how you were saying that you wanted to start originally, and you did start just right there on the farm with that store, and you had that passion. And now to see where you guys have grown and how you really are, like I said, trailblazing in this industry of you're 2 young women taking dairy and yogurt and this agricultural field and kind of spinning it to a more modern take where girls like Jensen and I are in the store and we're like, oh my gosh, look at this wonderful product that is checking all my boxes of, it's like I'm going to the farm store getting an organic product that is, there's generations of family behind this. I know the quality of it, but it's also super cute packaging and a cute website and makes me feel giddy when I get it. And I like how it tastes, and it's checking all those boxes, but bringing it to more consumers. And I just think it's so awesome to see how you guys have done that, and like what a testament that is to so many other little local farms or people who have these small farm stores that are dreaming big. It's just so exciting, even though I'm not in that space of like having a farm store or anything. It's really neat to see how you guys have worked together and grown that and like done a new spin on the family farm and really made it this more sustainable model and seen all that growth. Not to mention, like I said, your product, your yogurt, is delicious. It's so yummy and thick and creamy. Like, it is just a wonderful yogurt. Everyone who I've known who's ever had it is like, oh my gosh, the Painterland Sisters yogurt, that is the best yogurt. So can you tell us a little bit more about the product specifically? What makes it different from a regular yogurt? What is the difference of a skyr yogurt? Why is it so yummy and creamy?
I'll start with just this small caveat and let Hayley go into it. She didn't like yogurt when we started this business, so she had to make something.
I still don't like yogurt on the shelves.
I like
our yogurt, right? So that's what makes ours different. Is it tastes different. It's just, it tastes good. It's real food, real nutrients, and real nutrients taste good. And growing up on a dairy farm or on a farm in general, you eat a lot of veggies from your garden, or if you live in Lancaster County, you eat a lot of veggies from the farmers there. And so we really didn't have that connection of going to the store and having food that tasted the way it does. So eating some of these yogurts, it's like, that's not for me. So yeah, that's the first thing. And then the nutrition in it. Steph, do you want to talk about like you said,
Yeah.
the check marks?
Yeah. So we really like food that's as untouched by humans as possible, right? Like as close to untouched and as how it was put here for us to consume, like let's do that, as close to nature as possible, right? And so our yogurt in general is very high in nutrients because our process allows, it's just a gentler process, which allows us not to just break it up. And then we break it up so much that a lot of yogurt, you'll see we have a very high protein level naturally. A lot of other yogurts, they add protein powder into the yogurts to bust up that protein level. Well, why would we take something that's pure and chock full of protein, take it out, and then Frankenstein it with something else from some other milk, whatever. And so like that's
really
what we're
gritty too.
Yeah, and it leaves it
like,
gritty.
Oh, is it like that Greek stuff? Like,
Yeah.
no. It's not gritty like that.
And that's where you get that smoothness from when you take it. It's like this cloud. We say it's extra creamy, defiantly dreamy because it's like this little cloud that you're eating. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't have that gritty protein powder, and we don't add stuff to it. It's just natural. And we do add billions of probiotics into it. So that is really good for, gut health. And people are starting to understand there's a lot more information about how much the health of your gut affects your overall well-being. And it's cool that, we're able to not only have that protein level for our consumers naturally, but also the billions of probiotics. It's lactose free. 68% of consumers are lactose intolerant sensitive. And so we're able to let them enjoy real dairy again. So we're dairy farmers. We do not want people to not be able to consume dairy, right? And so we did our research, and honestly, like, when it comes to this overall product, we didn't cut corners. We just gave the best that we could. And you'll notice that one in the quality, but also in the price, right? So we're like, hey, let's give the choice. Even though this is a higher priced item, let's give them a choice. Let's give the consumers a choice to either, spend a little bit more and get the best yogurt product they can get, or, they can go for an alternative, but let's just see, right? And so it was not only us as two young women in our 20s trying to launch this yogurt company, but at a very high price where that it's not totally normal to do. And people, they had their doubts, and we knew like let's just see what the people say. And it's been amazing to watch that. Like on our yogurt, we add nice little icons to represent who we are. We're mother owned. I have 3 kids. Like I said, 80% of the buying power on the store shelves is women, right? And you can tell that when you go to the stores, these are companies owned by men, targeted for men, when the men aren't buying the majority of the groceries. You know what I mean? And so it's just so silly. Like this is us. And we're Painterland Sisters. We're creating a sisterhood here, with people like you two, right? That just like you want a healthy product. You don't have time in your normal life to go 5 miles down a dirt road, take a left, another 5 miles down another dirt road, and go to a farm store. You can get our product in 49 states, in 2,000 locations, and growing, so that it's easy. It doesn't mess up your day-to-day routine. You can have a farm fresh product in your local store. And that's really what we're going for here.
I'll break down what we do. So we have it's Icelandic style yogurt. Mm-hmm. Icelandic just means it's higher in protein, lower in sugar. We take the water out, so it's strained like a premium yogurt, like a Greek, but it's Icelandic style. Mm-hmm. High in protein, low in sugar. We never add non-nutritives like stevia or monk fruit. They're super trending, but honestly, we'd rather have real sugar, just a small amount of it, because people know how to break that down. The lactose-free is huge. Billions of probiotics. It's whole milk plus double cream. It's got 6% milk fat. We're educating that milk fat actually gives people more energy, and it allows our bodies to actually do what's needed to break down protein and all function together. It's high in calcium, and I think those are the bulk of it. We just check a lot of those boxes. It's 4 cups of milk in every single cup of our yogurt. And each cup of milk has 13 essential nutrients. So you're getting 4 doses of those essential nutrients.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That's a lot. Yeah, sorry.
No, it's really amazing to hear the breakdown of what's in the yogurt too. and all that good stuff, because I think the health and diet culture sometimes shies away from like, oh, it's a product with a lot of fat or cream in it. But those products, and we talk about this all the time on here, like that's nourishing your body. Your body needs that. Especially, it's so exciting that you're a woman-owned company that is marketing to women, because that's especially important for women. Those healthy fats in our body, for our hormones, for all sorts of functions day to day in our life. And so, like I said, the product tastes stellar, but it's also just like so neat to hear all the good things in it that you're getting when you eat it and invest in it. And that's definitely for me, when I'm in the store, I'm like, I would rather pay more for this product that feels like I'm at the farmer's store getting it, and it's so convenient just here in my store to grab instead.
Yeah. And like when you have a spoonful to spoonful, us compared to other yogurt, you are getting better value per, dollar, but per spoonful, better value for your body. Like, and I think like we're trying to explain that in regards, like, yeah, it's a little bit more, but you're getting so much more value, that it's just night and day. And you mentioned like hormones. I have a 4-month-old baby. Talk about hormones. Like had 9 months of hormones. My hormones dropped after, giving birth. And anyways, throughout this whole thing, our yogurt, Hayley and I, like I said, we launched the company March of 2022. So I had Meadow is my 2-year-old, and I'm breastfeeding her, having to stain my body's nutrients, my hormones, to give her nutrients. I'm eating our yogurt every day. Mm-hmm. And then 9 months of pregnant, I'm eating our yogurt every day. It's got the protein in it, it's got the probiotics. Even if I don't have time because I'm a busy mom running a company, with my sister, like this is a yogurt that I'm able to eat, get solid nutrients, and then take care of my family and take care of myself, thus taking care of my family. You know what I mean? So it's cool that way too.
That's awesome. It's so great that you're putting a product on our shelves that, yes, might be a little bit higher price, but you're getting so much value for it. And I think you're just making it so easy for people all across the country to not have to go to that farmer's market, and just be able, when they go to their normal grocery store run, to be able to pick something off the shelf that is going to give them the nutrients they need to be a mom, to be a wife, to be a working woman, to do whatever. And I just think that's so awesome. So we're going to get a little into kind of the business side of it, because we're just kind of curious what a typical day looks like for you guys. So how does that balance of making the products, marketing, paperwork, how do you manage all that? And I guess, how do you maintain that personal health and balance with so much going on too? Because it's a lot to handle, and you guys seem to be doing an amazing job at it. So just what's your advice, and how do you guys handle that?
What makes this company, one of the things that makes this company so cool, like it's owned and ran by 2 sisters, right? So not only are we navigating our personal relationship, but we're navigating a business relationship together. And if one person is, having an off day, if one person needs a little support in another area, like not only do we have a business partner to support us, and that someone that you trust more than anyone in the whole world, right? But somebody, that you have a sister there to lean on too. Like, hey, like I'm having a real bad day. Can you like take this team meeting? Like I can't talk. Like even this morning, like we had a sales meeting at 7 a.m. We had 50 people on the call, and everyone else had their screen off, and it's just like our faces. So you're talking to a blank, and you're supposed to, give this sales presentation.
So you're trying to wake them up.
Yeah, and so you're trying to get everyone rocking and rolling, even though like you can barely talk. And I went to bed at like 1 something because I have my daddy's away right now on a business trip. So I have 3 kids, 7 a.m. I'm like, I got 5 hours of sleep. Anyways, I usually talk a lot, as you guys can tell. And this morning I was like, I started talking and my mouth wasn't working. I'm like, Hayley, like as my business partner sister, I'm like, you got to take this one. Like it's not working today. You know what I mean? And so I think that's one thing. Like we're leading not only a business, but we're leading a sisterhood, right? Our team, and I really want to highlight that part of it. We can't do this without our team. So like, how are we running a national yoga company, being mom, being being sisters, just having some personal time, kind of, that is because we have a great team. We focused on building a great intentional team with not people that just have the skills to do certain things, but people that have a positive, open-minded attitude, that we're really looking to, progress things forward, because every single day things come up in a business. You have to pivot, you have to make decisions. Every day looks different. Every day you make hard decisions, and that takes a lot of trust in your team, trust in the world, trust in all the higher powers,
trust in your
everything.
consumers that they're going to continue to buy the product.
Yes. And faith, right? It's faith. It really takes a lot of faith, being humble and building a great team. So, we could get into more, like we have a director of operations that
I think a key part of it, Stephanie, even without like getting the different people, is we all work remote. So we're a brand, and it was confusing for Stephanie and I when we started navigating, like, oh, we have to make a national, or we have to make something with our farm. It has to be large enough. Okay, we have to build a processing plant. We designed one, quoted it out. It was $8 million. We're like, all right, we don't have to do a processing plant, right? What are other options? So we found a co-manufacturer. So we actually have partnered up with a 10th generation Icelandic yogurt maker right here in Pennsylvania. So we actually contract them to make the yogurt that we have designed. We send them the labels, the cups, the ingredients, the cultures, the lactase enzyme, all the goodies. And so our team actually looks really remote, and we're able to organize most things through a computer. Sales, when we're pitching a new store, we'll like pull up on a Zoom meeting. Maybe Google Meet, maybe Microsoft. You have to be swift in all of it, right? But think about it. Like 5 years ago, if we were a new brand, we'd have to fly to Texas to pitch a major company to sell into their stores. And so we're able to do a lot of things right here from our computers, because the world has kind of shifted to remote. And this has helped us be able to access the nooks and crannies of the world that we wouldn't have been able to.
Yeah, we started, just to piggyback on that, we started this company during COVID. And so like we had, being remote was actually a win for us, especially as a mom too, and with a low budget, like for travel, like it was very good to do that. But the supply chain was a little funky because everything was shut down with COVID. So it took some extra love on that end. But just being able to work from our computers has been awesome. The other part that as we've been building this business, we've learned to just ask for help. We can't do this by ourselves. So we know we don't know, and we ask for that help in everything that we do. We don't try to. Grandma Painter calls it tuition expense, and we all have tuition expense. When we make mistakes, we learn something, and that's our tuition expense. Yes, we have tuition expenses. We make mistakes, we learn from that, and then we go for it. But we also hire the right people, or if that's a consultant, a contractor, or an internal employee,
or that just can ask our community or different people, like outside people, right? Want to really help.
Yeah. Hey, do you know anything about yogurt? You know what I mean? That's literally how we got started. Do you know anything? It's even started before the
stores.
Hey, do you know?
Company's called a consumer packaged good company. I had no idea.
We had no idea even what industry we were in. We were like, we want to sell milk products. How do you do that? Do you know anyone that can do that? Here's 5 people.
Industry, right? No.
I love that. It's such a testament to really just women and, like you said, sisterhood in general, and how you guys have just really figured it out. Like there's stuff we know, there's stuff we don't know, there's stuff we need to ask other people or bring other people on the team to help with. And doing all of that and navigating all of that, like now you guys are this yogurt company, like you said, in over 49 states with 2,000 stores, and you're killing it. So, I mean, it's exciting as women. Look, we have a podcast. It's like just for fun, but we still can relate on that business level in some ways. And we both work in corporate positions. And so we understand women in business and the struggles that can be there. And it's just really awesome to see how you guys have navigated that and where you are. we saw that recently you were listed on the Forbes 30 under 30, which congratulations. That is amazing. I remember I sent it to Jensen. I was like, oh my gosh, look at this. I'm so happy for them. Like, never having met you. It was just very exciting to like see that your company has grown to there. And I know you were saying March of 2022 is when you launched. And so now here we are in 2024. What does the future hold for Painterland Sisters? Where is it going? How is it continuing to grow? And how can the listeners be involved, whether it's on the consumer end or on the business end? How can we get involved as consumers?
I think the business, so we're already national. we're gonna keep trying to pick up stores across the country and selling the current product we have. But I think the next couple of years we really want to get intentional with how can we connect with consumers more? How can we loop them into what we're doing, be a part of the sisterhood in many different ways. We just opened a crowdfunding campaign. We actually just got fully funded through it. It was like, I think we have almost 700 people, mostly farmers across the country, really saturated in PA though, who've come in and now they're investors.
Over $1.2 million.
Wow.
So that is a testament to the community.
We have, my point with that though is like, these are consumers who are now investors. We have consumers who showed up and helped me and Stephanie and I worked the stand at the farm show. We have consumers, Stephanie's going to Utah. They're going to go and help her in Utah, like sell some yogurt at this big trade show. And so it's like our consumers can wear multiple hats. We have some family in the Chicagoland area. They're consumers, but they're also brand ambassadors. They pass out coupons to new people. So we're just like really excited to expand it out and like invite people into our brand.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Just take that sisterhood base that we've started, but we've not been able to get the attention that we want to because we were like building, and we're still building a brand. Like we definitely have some cool new products in our mind that are going to come out dairy related, in the next couple of years, if not sooner than that. But really, like Hayley mentioned, just being connected to our consumer, because that's where our passion gets fueled, talking about the importance of sustainable agriculture and how you as a consumer play a huge role in that, and what you can do, even if just, purchasing that yogurt. And just people are excited about this brand because we are really working on it to be a platform to have everyone that wants to be involved help this mission, right? This is a mission-based company. We're a benefit corporation. Our first and foremost is not just to, the shareholders, it's to benefit the public goods, right? Mm-hmm. And so we're really excited about that. We're really excited to connect with people.
And that note, we want to create a sisterhood. So just like people engaging, one, if they eat the yogurt, that's amazing. But once people eat the yogurt and they hop on our Instagram or Facebook or website, I feel like we want to build this sisterhood. So even if they're not a part of any of those programs we said, just getting engaged online and feeling like they're a part of our lifestyle with us, we want that. Like, we want you to be connected with the farmers and with us. And
that's the whole point.
Lifestyle. We want be connected with the sisterhood.
Yeah. So I think another really important part of all of this is buying power. So 90% of the food on the store shelves is owned by 10 companies, right? So our choices as a consumer really plays a part of how that looks, not just right now, but in the future, what choices we're able to have as consumers going into a grocery store. The more that we can buy, just intentionally, the more that we support, the brands like ours, farmer-owned brands, the more that we'll get other products like that. The more that what we're doing will be the norm instead of one company owning a bunch of different brands that limits our choices as a consumer to what we feed ourselves and our children. So I think that's really important to just pure buying power.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know you're mentioning like the sisterhood and the product and showing the behind the scenes of that. And for me, I know I'm like if I find a product that I genuinely love, and then I go and find that Instagram and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is beautifully curated, and like I get a picture into their life too, or like the product, I'm like immediate follow, and I'm telling everyone about it. Like, I feel like I'm part of that Painterland sisterhood, because I'm like, no, you have to get this yogurt because
You are.
it's delicious. Like, the packaging's cute. The Instagram's great. They're sisters. Like, they're family owned. Like I said, checking all those boxes. And I really like that you guys have such a strong focus on that as sisters working in agriculture and business, as you're growing the company, that it is so consumer based, because as a consumer, that feels so inclusive to me and so exciting to get to be a part of that brand and be like, hey, I need to tell you about this yogurt that's really good. Like, I have the inside scoop on something in the like health or crunchy community. Like, you have to know about this or that. And here on Kind of Crunchy, we're always sharing products and things like that with our followers and listeners, and they're sharing with us. And we really have a community like that where we love to share these things. So, I just love how much you guys resonate with that in your business and how you've used that as part of your model growing as well.
I love being a part of your Krunchy community, and you're a part of the sisterhood.
Yes. Yeah.
We all are a collective, right? Like, that's what it is. Like, we all, and that sense of community in general has dwindled over the years. And so this touches one of our human needs for community, right? And it's really cool.
Absolutely. We weren't meant to do this all alone. And I think with the whole health and all these nutrients and all the things we can learn, there's just so much information out there. I think, like, as a community, like, I love learning from you guys. I love learning from other people. And it's just so cool to be able to like foster those connections, and we can all get better. We can all support one another. We can all nourish ourselves to the best of our abilities and have fun while doing it.
Exactly. We need each other. We all do.
Yes. Well, Rachel, do you have any more questions? Or you want me to wrap it up with our last question?
No, yeah. Go ahead with the last question.
All right. So, Stephanie, Hayley, anything else you want to share with our Kind of Crunchy listeners, whether it's about yogurt, business, agriculture, life, anything? Do you have any last tidbits of information?
Let's see. So a lot of times they'll ask, like, what are Stephanie and I's like things that drive us? And it always changes. It's crazy. So maybe the last piece of advice I'll give right now in my life, if you ask me a month from now, it may change. But for the past 6 months, it's remember who you are. And that's a powerful thing, because no one else can be you. No one else has been on this journey that you are on. Like, for instance, no one else has started a national yogurt company from their own dairy farm from Northern PA and got Forbes 30 under 30 this year. Like, that's our thing. But even when we were in high school, it's like, well, no one grew up with the same parents we had and had the same animals and perspective. And so it's like that power of knowing who you are and wearing that every day, because it's easy to get lost, especially when life gets a little crazy.
Yeah. And just, Hayley, just to piggyback off of that, knowing who you are and that you were put here exactly who you are for a reason. And, you know, we've had to deal a lot with that as we've grown the business, to stay true to who we are, but just be proud of who we are and know that, yeah, we do things differently. Like, we know we do business, you know, like millennial women, like farmers, like we're sitting at our grandpa's kitchen table, right? Like, we know that we have this weird mix, right? But like, we were put here on this earth for that reason, to do what we're doing. And so when you find something that you're aligned with, even if everyone thinks it's absolutely insane, that's the good stuff. That's what will make you feel
the
whole.
path you go.
Yeah, that's what will make you feel whole as a person. And that's how we can get through some of these challenges that come up as, you know, we have this business. We feel that innate connection to our higher being, that like, hey, like, we were put here for this reason. Let's just get it done. Like, let's tell people about agriculture. Let's tell people about farmers. Let's tell people why important it is to nourish our bodies and nurture Mother Earth. And so it's cool to have that in there. And the other part I'd like to say is just shoot your shot. Like, everyone, like, just ask, and you'd be surprised how awesome people are to give you information and to help you with your journey. So like we were just talking about before, it's a collective, like people, we need each other to build each other up, right? Just asking, some people will say no, some people might even laugh at you, but there are people that will be there for you, and they have faith in you, even if they just met you, and so that's really important. Just shoot your shot. You are who you are, and you're meant to be exactly who you are.
Oh my goodness. Wonderful, like little quips and advice you guys both gave. I know it's inspiring and motivating to me hearing it come from you guys when you have had such success and like are doing such amazing things. And I know our listeners just are really going to resonate with that as well. And hopefully take that to heart, and hopefully it helps drive them towards whatever they're doing. We have a very dynamic listener base that all have very different interests or businesses or things going on. So I hope they just really take that and sit on it and use it to motivate them as well.
Yeah.
Well, we're really, sorry.
Okay, no, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, we're really thankful for the opportunity to be here. It's been, like you said at the beginning, it's fun to just chat with other women that, are like-minded, and it's nice. Like, this is what it's about.
Yeah, I know, speaking for both Rachel and I, we're super inspired right now. We're probably going to be calling each other later, being like, how can we grow our podcast business like Hayley and Stephanie? So thank you guys for just, being such an inspiration to so many people out there. You're inspiring us, and we just love what you're doing. And we're so, so excited to see what all is to come for your business in the future too.
Well, thank you both.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we merged our Krunchy sisterhood.
Yes.
Yes, us too. Thank you so much for being on today and just everything you shared. It was nothing short of amazing to just have this conversation with you and get to chat about all these things. And yeah, we're just super thankful you came on. We're super thankful you make a delicious, wonderful yogurt that we get to consume. And for all of our listeners out there, if you don't follow the Painterland Sisters, give them a follow, check out their website, get their yogurt in the store today and try it. If you haven't, you will not be disappointed. But yeah, just thank you guys so much. It's been a pleasure. And we're so happy that you joined us here today, and we're so happy our listeners joined us. And we wish you all the best in Painterland Sister success and growth.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you to our Kind of Crunchy listeners for being here for another week. We know you guys just absolutely love this episode. Make sure you give them a follow, give us a follow, so you can be in tune with all the things happening with both Kind of Crunchy and the Painterland Sisters. Have a good week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Remember, although we talk all things health and wellness here, this is not medical advice, and you should always seek out your medical professional for further questions. Thanks again for listening. Please remember to share, comment, and subscribe to help support our podcast.